so I just start with the verse.
Yeah.
Natad asti prithiviyam cha lampa divi deveshu bapuna sattvam prakriti jair muktam yad ehi syat tevir gunai. There is no being existing either here or amongst the demigods in the higher planetary system which is free from these three moons born of material nature.
Super. And the next verse?
Brahmana Kshatriya Visham Sudrana Cha Parantapa Karmani Pravibhaktani Sambhava Prabhavir Gunai. The Brahmanas, Kshatriyas, Vaishyas, and Shudras are distinguished by the qualities born of their own natures in accordance with the material modes. O chastiser of the enemy.
Yeah, just keep on.
Shamudamas tapa shaucham shantir arjavam evacha jnanam vijnanam astikyam brahma karma svabhavajam. Peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. These are the natural qualities by which the Brahmanas work.
Yes. So, yeah, any comments or questions to that? Pretty straightforward.
Yeah.
Okay, next one.
Well, I don't really understand it, but I could just,
we have time, I think.
We have all the time in the world. What is any specifics?
Maybe I guess the summary of the verse is like he's describing the qualities by which the intelligent class work.
But Daniel, what specific didn't you understand?
I didn't understand any of the verses. I mean, I understand what they're saying and sort of understand, but I still don't fully understand. Like, when I have found the essence of what they're trying to say, I usually say I understand.
Yeah, I get it. It'll take some time for it to sink in. So basically, Krishna is giving an overview of the social system. You see in the old India, actually according to our books, it was all over the world. You have the system of classification of people. Some are the intelligentsia, and some are, the warrior class or ruler class, kings and stuff like that. And then you have the farmers and business people. They're lumped together in the third class, called Vaishyas. And then the fourth class is the laborers and artisans.
There is still almost this going on in Norway today. Like, I would think that the political class is maybe the intelligent class, and scientists, and politicians. And then the police, the different branches of the government are the kshatriyas.
Well, actually, I have to give you wrong there, because actually the police can actually not be the kshatriyas, because you see, a kshatriya is actually almost just an intelligent as a brahmana, but it's just a great leader who leads according, to the law, of the universal law, not the physical law actually. There's a little bit of difference, because you can see policemen today, they are never actually, soldiers are never been kshatriyas. Soldiers are always shudras. People who fight like that is the leaders of the soldiers, like the commanders.
Yes.
Yeah.
But like on the street, if there's a police officer there, he's like what's it called? There's a word when they take respect. They
command respect.
Yeah, they demand automatically respect just by wearing the badge and the uniform.
Yeah, I mean you can distinguish a person case to case. I'm not saying that, but just in general, trying and get what I'm trying to say is that a kshatriya is a person who actually know how to lead and influence a lot of people.
I mean, you only get respect if you act respectable.
Yeah. So in that way, it's like achar.
And often police officers do act very formal and respectable. So
Yeah.
I think so too.
Yeah. So but still, you may not be a kshatriya. It's like many people who are like formal and respectful. Actually, in the Vedic society, everybody are, but you need to have that in your DNA to actually be a great leader. That's actually something in there.
For the point of illustrating, the different classes, I think police is like the closest we have to Kshatriyas and the military.
Well, really not. It really isn't. I'm sorry. I don't agree at all. Because those who are, you can say politicians, they may be like great politicians. See, Kshatriya is not a cheap title. Usually the voters are people who really haven't studied, they're making this. That anybody who has
something about delegation of power.
Anybody who likes combat, like anybody who likes combat, who likes to fight, that they are Kshatriyas is completely wrong. Completely wrong. This is just normal people, Shudras. They like to fight, build up muscles and like that. Actual Kshatriya is the one who has that power to rule according to religion, actually, not only according to mundane law, but actually according to they are godly people actually, and they're leading with their heart. They're ready to die for the sake of saving the innocent people. They're really heroes in the right sense of the term.
I think actually that's at least the dream of the police officers.
Yeah, of course, the dream, of course. Yeah, but the dream is unfortunately far away from reality. I'm sorry to say,
maybe it's not in the perfect, executed perfectly, like according to certain examples we can see. But the quality of work is that the police is there to protect us from danger, right?
No, but they're the foot soldiers of the higher police, departments. You see, try and understand this, okay? You have a war. So is everybody in the war Kshatriyas? No,
well,
they're not.
I don't
Okay,
think so.
it's said in the books, these foot soldiers, they are Shudras. They're working for the Kshatriyas. The main players in the war, they are these great commanders. You will hear about them in Bhagavad-gītā. They're mentioned by name. But you have millions of people more who are fighting. And they're all Shudras. You see, they're working under the Kshatriya. They are not actually Kshatriya. Kshatriya is these very great leaders. There are few of them, okay? That's what I'm trying to convey here. They're few, very few.
Being great people, they would have found another way than to start a war to begin with.
Well, sometimes war is inevitable. Like you have right here in the Mahabharata, where Bhagavad-gītā is coming from.
If it's attacking, there's war.
If evil is attacking, the innocent should be protected. You see, the whole crux is that you should protect those who are innocent.
We didn't even make it past the Brahminical qualities of work.
Yeah, it's not about instigating a war. Yeah, instigating a war just because the ego is hurt. Of course, that's not very noble. That's just out of ego. But the real sense of war, according to Kshatriya Codex, is to protect innocent people. So it's very noble and very great people, supposed to be, such as Arjuna. Arjuna, there was one person coming and saying, I lost my son. My son is, every time I get a son, he's just dying. And Arjuna said, I'll promise to protect, and he started, protecting. Each time he got a son, he was shooting so many arrows, he made like a whole protecting realm, and still some or other the son was disappearing. And then he said, okay, if I can't solve this now, I will go voluntarily into the fire. He was ready to die, because of not fulfilling his duty to protect.
Yeah.
And then Krishna said, okay, hold on a sec. You know what, Arjuna, we can go in our chariot and go to Mahavishnu and ask him if he knows anything. So they just jumped on the chariot and went all the way, crashing through the elements of the universe and into Vaikuntha. And then, Mahavishnu, oh, I'm so happy to see you. He said, he saw Krishna and you are my heroes. Do you know anything about these, dead sons of this Brahmana? You see, I have them right here. I hid them just to get an opportunity for you to seek me out and see me. I hid these sons of the Brahmana. Yeah.
It's a really nice story, actually.
Yeah. But it illustrates the point that a Kshatriya is really die hard to do his duty of protection. Anyway, we can go to the next one. Yeah.
Listen, what Krishna will also say, because he will say heroism, these qualities that you're describing, right?
Yeah. Okay. So we can see the qualities. Heroism, power, determination.
Then you try to look at the different qualities and try to understand like who this person is.
Yeah. So one of the things which distinguishes, you can say, a normal soldier or warrior from a kshatriya is this resourcefulness. So okay, I'll give you a few things. A kshatriya, he is wealthy. Okay, he has a lot of resources at his disposal. He has a lot of men under him. He has a whole crew of people under him. That's one thing. He has brahmanas who he can consult. They're just there. Some or other, they want to help him, the brahmanas. So he has like a lot of people available to help him. It's like he can get anything he wants, basically. It's like just now we're sitting on the internet. We can get whatever we want on the internet. Same in the back of the day. The kshatriya had spies. He could get all the information through his spies. He sent them out, they were disguising like that. So, And then he has courage in battle. It's actually said in the Sanskrit, he doesn't flee from the battlefield. So that means when he is in the battle, even though going gets tough, he's not going to leave. He'd rather die than, escape the battle. So, and then he's very generous. He's giving a lot in charity, like that. And he's also, he knows how to lead. Yeah.
But the verse about this verse was about the brahmanas, and they're the ones who give the knowledge and advice to the kshatriyas.
Yeah. It says peacefulness, self-control, austerity, purity, tolerance, honesty, knowledge, wisdom, and religiousness. Yeah. So yeah.
So that Daniel doesn't get the two classes mixed,
Yeah. Sometimes they can be quite close to each other, but only difference really then is that the brahmana, he will not fight. You see, Dronacharya was actually brahmana, but then he got so eager to fight also. He was a teacher of fighting. In the beginning he didn't fight himself, but then he got into fighting himself, then immediately became actually a kshatriya. It's explained like this. And then he was fit to be killed, because the brahmana can never be killed by others. He's supposed to be protected, right? But once he stepped down from that, he himself took weapons and started, shooting around. Then everybody understood, this guy is no longer now a brahmana. So then he became cannon fodder pretty quick. Yeah. So, but now we have a completely different class, and that is the Vaishyas. Krishi Gorak. Yeah?
Now it's the kshatriya. We skipped the...
No, we were reading the kshatriya.
Oh, I thought we were on 42.
No, we were just reading the kshatriya. We discussed the kshatriya for a long time, right?
No, we discussed the kshatriya, but we read actually the brahmana.
I'm pretty sure we were reading kshatriya. Anyway, we can read it. Shoram tejyo dritiya daksham yudachapya palayanam dalam ishvara bhavascha kshatram karma svabhavajam. Heroism, power, determination, resourcefulness, courage in battle, generosity, and leadership are natural qualities of work for the kshatriyas. And then the next one, Krishi Gorakshavani jam Vaishya karma svabhavajam paricharyatmakam karma shudrasyapi svabhavajam. So here we have two classes. First two verses are the first class, and next two verses are the second class. Yeah, so farming, cow protection, and business are natural work for the Vaishyas. For the Shudras, they are labor and service to others. Yeah, so farming. Huh?
The Shudras didn't even get their own word verse.
I mean, they're getting in the Bhagavatam. If you look in the Bhagavatam, you have they're getting whole verse. You see, they have a more simple, you can say, tasks. Hence, they are they are on a lower platform in that way.
It's like you can see it because the business owners are, I guess, the Vaishyas, and everyone working under there are just the Shudras.
Exactly. But you have actually one important thing here. It says Goraksha, to protect the cows.
Yeah.
So Vaishyas all over the world, please wake up, you need to protect cows. I mean, I'm just joking. Of course, they are doing in many places, but many Vaishyas, they are not interested in protecting cows anymore, unfortunately. They are having slaughterhouse for cows.
Yeah, it's very, hypocritical, because it's cow protection for the purpose of eventually just slaughtering them, when they get 1 year old or so.
In Bhagavad, it's explained, how did the Vaishyas manifest? You see, first, Brahma, he created the cow. And then, after that, he created the Vaishya in order to protect the cow. Can you imagine?
Yeah.
She's so close to the
I
cow.
kind of have to go and buy food at the store so I don't lose my energy momentum for the day on sitting here.
Thank you for the compliment.
Yes.
Okay, you can come back whenever you like.
Yes, maybe I'll come back at the end.
Sure. Okay, see you around. Yeah. So then the fourth one. Yeah. Okay. Now we can have service and labor to others. It's not mentioned here, but it's mentioned in the Bhagavatam that there are all kinds of skills. Working with the hands. To be a artist, like a painter or actor, dancer. These are all part of that Shudra works. Yeah. So usually in the age of Kali we are more into these kind of things. So that's why I say we all in Kali we are mostly in that mood of Shudra. Yeah. It's kind of unfair that it's always, or sometimes it's seen upon as a low class, but it's not a low class actually. It's a good class, as long as one is feeling that one is working for God, then one is in the same level as everybody else.
I think people are just naturally, they would fall into whatever category they prefer. It's like when they go to school, they would like, I prefer to work with turtles, so I will become biologist.
Exactly. Yeah.
It's a completely natural for the person.
Yeah, so actually this is explained here by Krishna, Svese karmani abhirata samsiddhim labate naraha svakarmani rata siddhim yatha vindate tachrinu. By following his qualities of work, every man can become perfect. Now please hear from me how this can be done. Yatha pravrittir bhutanam yena sarvamidam tatam svakarmanatam abhyarcha siddhim vindate manava. By worship of the Lord, who is the source of all beings and who is all-pervading, a man can attain perfection through performing his own work. Yeah, so Prabhupada is saying in the purport, stated in the 15th chapter, all living beings are fragmental parts and partials of the Supreme Lord. Thus the Supreme Lord is the beginning of all living entities. This is confirmed in the Vedanta Sutra, Janmadhyasya Yataha. The Supreme Lord is therefore the beginning of life in every living entity. And as started in the 7th chapter of Bhagavad-gītā, the Supreme Lord, by his two energies, his external energy and internal energy, is all-pervading. Therefore one should worship the Supreme Lord with his energies. Yeah. Generally, the Vaishnava devotees worship the Supreme Lord with his internal energy. His external energy is a perverted reflection of the internal energy. The external energy is a background, but the Supreme Lord, by the expansion of his plenary portion as Paramatma, is situated everywhere. He is the supersoul of all demigods, all human beings, all animals, everywhere. One should therefore know that as part and parcel of the Supreme Lord, one has his duty to render service unto the Supreme. Everyone should be engaged in devotional service to the Lord in full Krishna consciousness. That is recommended in this verse. So now we have a nice consensus to what we spoke about, Prabhu. So Prabhupada says, everyone should think that he is engaged in a particular type of occupation by Rishikesha, the master of the senses. And by the results of the work in which one is engaged, the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Sri Krishna, should be worshipped. So in other words, there is no caste consciousness here.
This is a perfection of work.
Yeah.
Like yeah. I guess I can also supplement what Prabhupada is also preaching,
Yeah.
Simply somehow being conscious of Krishna is mukti, is a relief from all misery. So therefore, one who thinks he's working for Krishna, he's automatically liberated.
Exactly. Yeah. So Krishna then says, he even doubles down on this concept. He says, Shreyan swadharmo vigunaha paradharmat svanushthitat svabhavaniyatam karma kurvam napnuti kilbisham. It is better to engage in one's own occupation, even though one may perform it imperfectly, than to accept another's occupation and perform it perfectly. Duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected by sinful reactions.
Yeah.
Actually,
this verse is really interesting, I think.
Isn't it? Yeah. So one should just be honest and do what one feels like doing, really, actually.
I think it's so significant that duties prescribed according to one's nature are never affected affected by sinful reactions, it means that you will always have the advantage of not being affected by sinful reaction.
Exactly. Yeah.
I guess it's already delegated to the person that he has this nature, he will do this work, and he's destined to do the work, so therefore he's not affected by he's not subject to sin.
Exactly, and again, Prabhupada is commenting, confirming this. He says, one's occupational duty is prescribed in Bhagavad-gītā. As already discussed in previous verses, the duties of a Brahmana, Kshatriya, Vaishya, and Shudra are prescribed according to their particular modes of nature. One should not imitate another's duty. A man who is by nature attracted to the kind of work done by Shudras should not artificially claim to be a Brahmana, although he may have been born into a Brahmana family. In this way, one should work according to his own nature. No work is abominable if it's performed in the service of the Supreme Lord.
That's amazing.
The occupational duty of a Brahmana is certainly in the mode of goodness, but if a person is not by nature in the mode of goodness, he should not imitate the occupational duty of a Brahmana. So even Prabhupada is even doubling down more. He says, for a Kshatriya or administrator, there are so many abominable things. A Kshatriya has to be violent to kill his enemies. And sometimes a Kshatriya has to tell lies for the sake of diplomacy. Such violence and duplicity accompany political affairs, but the Kshatriya is not supposed to give up his occupational duty and try to perform the duties of a Brahmana. Yeah.
That's the short summary of Arjuna's situation.
Isn't it? Yeah. So then, even more. Next verse, Sahajam karma kaunteya sadho shami pinatyajet sarvaramba hidoshena dhumen agnir ivar vritaha. Every endeavor is covered by some fault, just as fire is covered by smoke. Therefore one should not give up the work born of his nature, O son of Kunti, even if such work is full of fault. I'm actually quite thirsty. I'll go and drink some water. You like to read the purport?
Yeah, sure.
Thank you.
In conditioned life, all work is contaminated by the material modes of nature. Even if one is a Brahmana, he has to perform sacrifices in which animal killing is necessary. Similarly, a Kshatriya, however pious he may be, has to fight enemies. He cannot avoid it. Similarly, a merchant, however pious he may be, must sometimes hide his profit to stay in business, or he may sometimes have to do business on the black market. These things are necessary. One cannot avoid them. Similarly, even though a man is a Shudra serving a bad master, he has to carry out the order of the master, even though it should not be done. Despite these flaws, one should continue to carry out his prescribed duties, for they are born out of his own nature. A very nice example is given herein. Although fire is pure, still there is smoke. Yet smoke does not make the fire impure. Even though there is smoke in the fire is still considered to be the purest of all elements. If one prefers to give up the work of a Kshatriya and take up the occupation of a Brahmana, he is not assured that in the occupation of a Brahmana there is no unpleasant duties. But one may then conclude that in the material world, no one can be completely free from the contamination of material nature. This example of fire and smoke is very appropriate in this connection. When in wintertime one takes a stone from the fire, sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes and other parts of the body. But still one must make use of the fire despite disturbing conditions. Similarly, one should not give up his natural occupation because there are some disturbing elements. Rather, one should be determined to serve the Supreme Lord by his occupational duty in Krishna consciousness. That is the perfectional point. When a particular type of occupation is performed for the satisfaction of the Supreme Lord, all the defects in that particular occupation are purified. When the results of work are purified, when connected with devotional service, one becomes perfect in seeing the self within, and that is self-realization.
Yeah, I mean, he's commenting pretty thoroughly so that there is no doubt, really.
Yeah.
Actually, I just look at a detail, but anyway, maybe you can fill in on this point. It says, when in winter time one takes a stone from the fire. How does that work?
I also was a bit confused on that. When in wintertime, one takes a stone from the fire. Sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes.
Why you take a stone from the fire? What does it mean?
That must be because it's not like Norwegian winter, right?
Indian winter, yeah.
It's like you have a fire and you want to have a warm stone, right? sometimes smoke disturbs the eyes. It's like kicking out the stone from the fire. The smoke disturbs the eyes.
Why should you take the stone away? That's my question.
Because you want a hot stone, right?
Why you want that? I mean, to make it warm. But I mean, why you take the stone away? Shouldn't you just be in the fire?
Actually, because the stone has been in the fire for a long time. It's just, in the fire pit there can be a lot of stones, this and that. So
Yeah.
if you want a big stone, maybe you want to heat up something or something, you can take a warm stone. But digging up the stone, there's smoke in the eyes and it's not very comfortable.
Yeah,
But
yeah.
still, it must,
Okay, so but I'm just learning. Okay, I didn't know that you use stones in fire at all. I mean, I thought you make fire with wood, but then if you have stones there, the fire will last for longer. Is that how it works?
No, it's like a battery, a heat battery, I think it's called. It's like you can heat up a stone and it will stay warm for a very long time. Far long until after the fire is burned
It's
out.
like in a
It will
sauna.
stay long for a very,
Yeah.
very long time.
Just like in a sauna, there you have stones, right?
Yes, exactly. And because the stone has very high heat capacity, they can maintain a lot of heat for a long time.
Yeah, and if you didn't have that, then you just have wood. If you just burn up, an end of story.
Yeah, it's nice because the wood is the fire is explosive and it gives most of the heat out in the air, just warm air flowing up, But if you have stones in the fire, they can heat up and you will have heat for a long time.
Very good, thank you. Okay, so next verse. Asakta buddhi sarvatra jitatma vigata spriyaha naishkarmya siddhim paramam sanyasyena digachati. One who is self-controlled and unattached and who disregards all material enjoyments can obtain by practice of renunciation the highest perfect stage of freedom from reaction. Yeah, that's understood. Then next one. Siddhim praptu yatha brahma tattapnoti nibodhame samasena evirkanteya nishtagyanasya ya para. O son of Kunti, learn from me how one who's achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage, Brahman, the stage of highest knowledge, by acting in the way I shall now summarize. Well, you can say, in one sense, didn't already Krishna explain everything? We are in the end of Bhagavad-gītā. So, but actually, this is he already said, summarize, right?
Wait, he's saying, learn from me how one who has achieved this perfection can attain to the supreme perfectional stage. It's like the one who is already perfected can become, even better.
That's good. He just keeps Arjuna on his toes. Or, he keeps him there so he doesn't fall asleep or something. Yeah.
But I don't know because this is Brahman. Brahman is also referred to different things. In this sense, is the best, right? It's like the highest person or something like that, right?
The highest, yeah.
Because,
So
we have, and when we speak of the impersonal truth, conception of the supreme truth, we say that this is not, the supreme understanding.
what is not the supreme understanding?
The Brahman understanding of the absolute truth. It's the impersonal truth.
Not always. That's the thing, you see. Sometimes Brahman is used.
Addressed.
Yeah, sometimes Brahman is also used to address, knowledge of Krishna even.
Yeah.
So it can be a little confusing because after all, Brahman is. It is uncertain actually what Brahman is really. It's not. It's not. It's not. What do you call this? It's not distinct. So in that way, Brahman can describe God. It can describe the energy of God. It can be like a all overarching description of everything that you can think of. and it can be just spiritual. It can also be about just the spiritual stuff. Yeah.
I guess I can relate to, like, if you're, say your occupation is to be throwing spears, like you try to throw as far as possible, and you train for so long, and after a while you beat the world record, right? And you say, that is Brahman realization. And then you keep going, you throw even further, break your own record many times.
Yeah, you can take it like that. That's a good example. Because Brahman has no end.
Yeah.
It's immeasurable. Yeah, very good. So in that way you can just keep on going. Yeah. So So now we have you can say more distinct. Now it's like analyzed different qualities of attaining Brahman. Yeah. Buddhya vishuddhaya yukto dhritayatmanam niyamya cha shabdadin vishayam styaktva ragadvesha vyudasya cha viktasevi lagvashi yatavakkayamanasaha dhyana yoga paro nityam vairagyam samupashritaha ahankaram balam darpam kamam krodham parigraham vimucya nirama shanto brahma bhuyaya kalpate. Being purified by his intelligence and controlling the mind with determination, giving up the objects of sense gratification, being freed from attachment and hatred, one who lives in a secluded place, who eats little, who controls his body, mind and power of speech, who is always in trance and who is detached, free from false ego, false strength, false pride, lust, anger and acceptance of material things, free from false proprietorship, and peaceful. Such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization. Yeah. When one is purified by intelligence, he keeps himself in the mode of goodness. Thus, one becomes the controller of the mind and is always in trance. He is not attached to the objects of sense gratification. He is free from attachment and hatred in his activities. Such a detached person naturally prefers to live in a secluded place. He does not eat more than what he requires, and he controls the activities of his body and mind. He has no false ego because he does not accept the body as himself, nor has he a desire to make the body fat and strong by accepting so many material things. Of course, Arjuna was strong. I mean, he wasn't fat, but he was muscular. You see, this is more like an Upanishadic description of a perfect, mystic, transcendentalist. One can also be an active person in the world, and then one may have, one may have bodily fat. Still, you can be, Krishna conscious, right? So this is just one example, how it can go about. This is like, more of the kind of renounced person, right?
He says such a person is certainly elevated to the position of self-realization.
Exactly. But
to live in such an austere environment without being.
Yeah, exactly. But he still has to be having bhakti if he's going to have a notion of Krishna.
Yeah,
that's obvious.
Yeah.
Because
he may be he may or may not be a bhakti, but he's definitely self-realized because he's worshipping the consciousness within the soul energy, internal.
But in one sense, it's also kind of like balancing on the razor's edge.
Yeah.
It's always described like that because you need to really be on the transcendental platform 24/7. So you can't react on any duality. So say, if, for example, I tell you something bad or I tell you something good, you're exactly the same. If I give you a burned piece of bread, or if I give you the best bread in history, you will be exactly reacting the same, right?
That's inconceivable because it's like trying to look like the brain cannot look at these two viewpoints at the same time.
Yeah. So for most of us, the process of oh, Krishna, I got an insect. Whoa. Was about to Well, I think I got one of these insects who was like float, Somewhere or other I got it here. That's amazing. Anyway.
Oh, yeah.
What to say? Yeah.
We can talk about that later.
Next verse is saying more simple terms. Brahma bhuta prasannat manaso chatina kankshate samasarveshu bhuteshu mat bhaktim lavate param. One is fully transcendently situated, at once realizes the Supreme Brahman and becomes fully joyful. He never laments or desires to have anything. He is equally disposed toward every living entity. In that state, he attains pure devotional service unto me. If you look at all the associates, both of Krishna and of Chaitanya Mahaprabhu, really, they were all householders, most of them. So they were engaged in the world. Huh?
What did you say they were?
Householders.
Householders, yeah.
Yeah, that's the same as Grihastha. I mean married people, family people. So they definitely had to deal with the dualities.
Oh yeah.
If you're going to bring up a child, of course you have to, tell right from wrong all the time. So in that way, it's not really applicable, this stage of being like a lone yogi. But you see, Bhagavad-gītā is catering to many different kinds of people. It's delivering what inspires these people also, the hardcore renunciates. And other place, he also tells Arjuna that, what are you talking about, not being in the war? Don't go and be like a renounced person.
Krishna doing this process, which he sometimes does, where he starts at the very tip of the top, and then he says, if you can't do this, at least this person is celebrated last.
Yeah.
And if not this, like this is pretty good.
He's basically going through the whole Vedic, system of activities. And Arjuna is now, in the end, he's asked to choose himself what to do, what should be his course of action, and he's not actually choosing to be this lone, renunciate. He's not choosing that. But anyway, Krishna has told him.
Speaking highly of this person, like being celebrated as.
Yeah, of course he should speak highly of them, because Arjuna and all the other warriors, all the other kshatriya, they are taking advice sometimes from these persons. So that is there. But for himself to actually live like that, that's out of the question actually. But you can see still it's good to have this description, because you can see, if you would be able to stumble upon such a person, then you would be happy to ask him some good advice, right? Because this person will be detached. So anyway, and hopefully then also attached to God or to Krishna. So Prabhupada is also kind of, balancing things in his purport. If you see the purport, he says, to the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma-bhuta stage, becoming one with the Absolute, is the last word. So he says that actually, oh, you're back, so super. You got some energy, yeah?
I bought some food, yes.
Yeah. Okay, so yes, we're just discussing, these intricacies of the descriptions of Transcendentalist here. We are now in verse 54. Yeah. So in the purport there, Prabhupada says, to the impersonalist, achieving the Brahma-bhuta stage, becoming one with Absolute, is the last word. But for the personalist or pure devotee, one has to go still further to become engaged in pure devotional service. That means that one who is engaged in pure devotional service to the Supreme Lord is already in the state of liberation called Brahma-bhuta, oneness with Absolute. So again, this Prabhupada has mentioned many times that you're already covered with all these previous stages when you have the higher stage. And it's the logic of in Nyaya, in logic, there's a word for that, but I've heard it, but I don't know what it is. But it said that if you have something, if you have a lot of something, then you also have the lesser included in that. So the example is giving that if you have 1,000 kroner, then you also have 10 kroner, you also have 100 kroner also. So in that way, if you have Bhakti to Krishna, then also Brahma-bhuta or impersonal Brahman realization is also there included. Yeah, so
it also apply the same principle to universal laws and truths. Like if you have a small piece of it, you can reason what the bigger part of it is too.
Exactly, yeah. Thank you. So we can just read on. See, now we have text 55. Bhaktyamam abhijanati yavan yaschasmi tatvata tatumam tatvato gyatva vishate tattanantaram. One can understand me as I am, as the Supreme Personality of Godhead, only by devotional service. And when one is in full consciousness of me, by such devotion, he can enter into the kingdom of God. So now Krishna has shifted now over to himself. And to just be a devotee, that's the actual higher level than what has previously been described. And he's going to, make that even clearer later. So now let's go to text 56. Sarva kamanya pisada kurvanti madhya pashraya matprasada vapnoti shashvatam padamavyayam. Though engaged in all kinds of activities, my pure devotee under my protection reaches the eternal and imperishable abode by my grace. So now, he's suddenly saying, although you're doing all kinds of things, right? So you may not be, this silent Muni living, peacefully away from other people, eating little, and all that stuff. You may now the door is quite open. It's like you may do whatever and like that, but at least if you're my devotee, then I will protect you. Yep, I will make sure you reach the goal. Yeah. So Prabhupada says in the purport here also, that like in the last part of his purport, he says, in spite of all difficulties, he is eventually placed in the transcendental abode of Krishna Loka. So eventually, it means he may struggle for some time. But actually, Krishna will help him. Yeah. So then text 57, Chetasa sarva karmani maya sanyasya matparaha buddhiyogam upashritya machita satatam bhava. In all activities, just depend upon me and work always under my protection. In such devotional service, be fully conscious of me. So again, the same thing, sarva karmani, in all activities. Now Krishna is not making distinction anymore. Say you can swim under the water or over the water, you can drive in a car, you can fly in the air. Yeah, it's like really, he doesn't care. Just be a devotee of me and I will make sure, everything will be okay at the end of the day. But Prabhupada is still saying something here in the purport, just to make sure that, we shouldn't think like that, okay, God is protecting me, now I can just do whatever damn thing I like. No. When one acts in Krishna consciousness, he does not act as the master of the world. Just like a servant, one should act fully under the direction of the Supreme Lord. A servant has no individual independence. He acts only under the master, order of the master. A servant acting on behalf of the Supreme Master is unaffected by profit and loss. He simply discharges his duty faithfully in terms of the order of the Lord. Now one may argue that Arjuna was acting under the personal direction of Krishna, but when Krishna is not present, how should one act? Now, this is going to be interesting to learn. So Prabhupada says, if one acts according to the direction of Krishna in this book, as well as under the guidance of the representative of Krishna, then the result will be the same. The Sanskrit word matpara is very important in this verse. It indicates that one has no goal in life except acting in Krishna consciousness to satisfy Krishna. And while working in that way, one should think of Krishna only. So look at this now. Now we have a kind of a hack coming. Okay? I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. See? So you can kind of tell yourself. Say somebody asked you, we can give the example that, the mother is asking the child, please clean your room. And the child will then think, if he is Krishna conscious, I have been appointed to discharge this particular duty by Krishna. Yep. Does it make sense? In that way, one can overcome, the ego, or I don't really want to do this, but you can think, actually, it's Krishna asking me to do this through my mother. Yep.
I'll remember that last when I go to the toilet.
Very good. No, but the point is there that who is our mother? Our mother is Mother Maya. The whole material world is actually a mother. So in that way, when we get some thing we need to do, for example, we have to drink, drink water, okay? We have to eat, we have to brush our teeth. All of these are chores. But we should think that actually all this is arranged by Krishna.
Yes, exactly.
And in that way, we may not feel remorse. That's what I'm getting to here, that we don't need to feel down, that, oh, why me? Why me? So, but actually, if you look at anybody's life, everybody may do stuff they don't want to do, because that's the predicament here in the material world. But
I always feel guilty no matter what I do.
Exactly. It's like, even if you're whatever we are, we always feel like, but But the idea is that if one becomes actually fully spiritual, then one will do this gladly, spontaneously even, any kind of service. Because one will have the eyes to see. It's just because we're blinded, we can't actually see our friend, Krishna. Or we can't see our mother, Maya, who actually also wants our best. We just see, matter. We just see impersonal things. We think, why should I do this? These are just things. No, they are not just things. It's persons behind all of these activities and stuff that we're dealing with. Yeah. So next verse is then saying, Mat chitta sarvadurgani mat prasada tarishyasi ata chetvam mahankaram nashroisyasi vinankshasi. If you become conscious of me, you will pass over all the obstacles of conditioned life by my grace. If, however, you do not work in such consciousness, but act through false ego, not hearing me, you will be lost. So here you have the crux then is that if we act through the false ego, then we just see material stuff. And we just think life is boring. But if we are conscious of Krishna, we will see that he is personally there. And we are also personally there, spiritually. And then...
text are we on now?
We're on the text 58. He says, mat chitra, if you have the chitta about me, he says. Chitta means consciousness. So then sarva durgani, it's he gives a hint about Durga Devi. She's giving, Durga means difficult to deal with. So all these things are difficult to deal with.
You kind of read words that are not in the text online, so I think you have like a slightly altered version than what I do have on.
No, it's been exactly the same for me.
I think you should take up text 58 in the Bhagavad-gītā. You read the Sanskrit there? Mat chitta sarva durgani. No? So then you're in the wrong chapter.
Link it again, or?
I also sent the link to you.
Yeah, maybe he doesn't have the right number, so.
Well, I can see sometimes they're exactly the same, but sometimes there's like just a few words that are different.
Yeah. Sometimes it's actually It's actually not exactly the same version always on this, because it has been updated, like in the English.
The
but
database has been edited.
Yeah.
Most recent.
But anyway, in the Sanskrit it should be the same. Okay. The Sanskrit is never changing.
Yeah. Okay.
Anyway, the main idea is not the technicalities, but of course we're also discussing them. Yeah. So now we're going to have Prabhupada's purport to text 58, and we are going to get our minds blown. Are you ready? Yeah.
Yes.
So Prabhupada says, a person in full Krishna consciousness is not unduly anxious about executing the duties of his existence. Did you hear that one? Not unduly anxious, that, I have to do this, I have to do that. No, just chill. Not unduly anxious. Of course, we want to do our duty, but not to be kind of completely crazy about it. The main duty we have is to be Krishna conscious in itself. That's the idea. So, so then Prabhupada says, the foolish cannot understand this great freedom from all anxiety. For one who acts in Krishna consciousness, Lord Krishna becomes the most intimate friend. Did you hear that? Friend. Not a despot or somebody who is ready to punish you if you don't do as he say. No, a friend. He always looks after his friend's comfort, and he gives himself to his friend.
Taking your side.
What?
I was always on your side,
I'm sorry, I couldn't hear what you said.
It's always on your side.
Always on the side, yeah. Thank you, yeah. So it's not like you're fighting with your friend, right? A friend is a friend, period.
Yeah, it's not the kind of friend you actually fight with.
It's cooperation. Like what you do with a friend. You watch a movie together, right? You go for a walk, bathing, whatever, have a snack, joking. This is friendship. So in the same way, Arjuna, he was going with Krishna. They said, they were going to, to the Yamuna river or Ganga, or like they were just sitting there relaxing, cracking a few
Also
jokes.
planning
Yeah.
pranks.
What's that?
Also planning pranks together.
Okay, you have an example?
Well, I was just thinking, in Vrindavan there are many pranks he's performing, but also, sometimes I guess outside of Vrindavan it's more like, let's solve this thing, and it's not exactly a prank, but maybe his plan is to provoke someone, and then he can, just completely prank them or something like that.
Well, the only prank I've heard about really is how they treated Duryodhan, because they got Mayadhanava to build this assembly house in Indraprastha, in the capital city, and then they invited Duryodhan to come. Huh? Yeah, that's okay. Yeah, but I mean, if you talk about Arjuna and Krishna together.
I imagine, like when he's a young boy, he's also planning with his coward boys that we're gonna steal the butter.
Yeah, I mean, I've heard one. Yeah, I heard one, and that is when they have the lunch. The coward boys, they sometimes they steal each other lunchbox. They just take away from another, and then he cannot find his lunchbox, and he's looking, who took it. Yeah, like that. I mean, that's not very kind. I mean, but and then they may throw the lunchbooks to each other.
Also the trickster or something.
Yeah, he may be. Yeah, I mean, there are many stories. I don't remember anything now, but sure.
But he's just so doing it so because he's doing it out of to uphold dharma, uphold religion.
Yeah, I mean, he comes in several capacities.
Oh yeah.
He comes as a friend. He comes also as the protector and upholder of dharma. But then he gets 2 extra arms. Okay.
I guess
he comes like Vishnu.
Mostly referring to the Krishna who's in Vrindavan.
Yeah.
He's performing activities.
Yeah. So when he's in Vrindavan, he's not so much speaking about dharma and stuff like that. Then he's more Madhurya. So,
he was always teaching, somehow.
Yeah. But it's kind of sometimes it's not exactly like you have before he's lifting the Govardhan hill. Yeah. Then he's starting to preach Karmakanda philosophies to his father. So it's not even the dharma like that. He's talking like a different philosophy than Bhakti at least. But that's just to make his father change from offering to Indra to offer to Govardhan hill instead. He talks about you should do things properly so you go to heavenly planet and this and that.
But I'm sure when he is like explaining the thing to his father, he would say something like, "Oh, Indra, we have worshipped Indra so much, and he has also become puffed up." Maybe he doesn't say it directly, but he says, this worship of Indra is not necessary. He will say it like that.
Yeah, he's talking with clever words.
And he's also speaking, directly according to the Vedanta, or Vedas.
Yeah, but he's talking, to at least in that case he's talking, Mimamsa philosophy. So sometimes these philosophers are telling, sometimes they are also not telling with Vaishnavism per se. Because anyway, Vaishnavism they don't get too deep into karmic philosophies because that will obstruct the development of bhakti. Anyway. We can read on, and now Krishna is actually saying this. He says, Yad ahankaram ashritya na yutsya itimanyase mityaisha vyavasayaste prakritis tvam nyukshasti. Yeah, so you say, if you do not act according to my direction and do not fight, then you will be falsely directed. By nature, you will have to be engaged in warfare. So, Arjuna was giving sound arguments from you can say the Dharma Shastras that Kshatriya he should never go to war against his own teachers. This is unheard of. But Krishna says look, he says I'm greater than your teacher. He says I am Bhagavan. So he's encouraging Arjuna to just go for straight bhakti, bypassing the karma kanda part, like that. So you have to be brave to do that. You actually have to believe, in God to do that, and to believe in Krishna specifically. He has to believe that actually he is actually the Supreme Personality of God. So that's why he showed him the universal form and all this.
Well, Arjuna already was convinced. So for some reason, he asked for Krishna's universal
Yeah. In one sense, it's just an act for all of us to see, so that we are getting these instructions through this story.
But in the beginning, Krishna is like saying, like, according to learned scholars, the soul is eternal, and the material is temporary. There is no impermanence. Is like scholar also referring to other sources?
Yeah. He says according to Vedanta Sutra. So he says Brahma Sutra Padaischaiva. So if you can understand, then Vyasadeva had already compiled his Vedanta Sutra at the moment Krishna was speaking. So this gives a great context to the whole discussion. Apart from that, Krishna is pulling a lot of Upanishadic verses that are verbatim the same. Like in Shvetashvatara Upanishad, and other places, he's saying a few verses which are actually the same. You can find them, you can look them up. So in that way, there's a great reference all the way that Krishna is not speaking out of the blue here. Everything he says is telling with the Siddhanta, or you can say Vedic conclusion, or Vedic worldview. So that's why this book is so useful for all different kinds of Hindus. Yeah. So anyway, let's go to the next one. So now he kind of threatening Arjuna. Svabhava yena kaunteya nibada svena karmana kartum nechasi mohat karishyasi avashupitat. Under illusion you are now declining to act according to my direction, but compelled by the work born of your own nature you will act all the same, O son of Kunti. Yeah. So Prabhupada is just reinforcing this in his purport. He says, if one refuses to act under the direction of the Supreme Lord, then he is compelled to act by the modes in which he is situated. Everyone is under a spell of a particular combination of the modes of nature and is acting in that way. But anyone who voluntarily engages himself under the direction of the Supreme Lord becomes glorious. Say, for example, one can choose, I will go to the kirtan evening, and then, I will be, transcendently, engaged and be kind of have some. I will enter into, the transcendental mood, by doing that. Or if I don't do that, I will just sit and scroll on the internet for 2 hours, right? So it's actually happening sometimes in our life that when we enter such, it's an austerity. It says,
it's not either A or B, because he's explaining that we will act all the same regardless.
Okay, yeah, he says that actually you don't have a choice.
Yeah, because either you choose to be in the kirtan, or you practice, in that way, or you practice, scrolling on the Instagram or
What is kirtan?
Oh, now we actually get in the question. Very good. So you'd like to explain, Christopher Prabhu?
Kirtan, in our sense we were referring to now, it means music, singing, specifically glorification of Krishna. Hare Krishna mantra.
Sorry for my bad jokes earlier. I just was very tired when I woke up today.
It's okay.
It's all right, sir. No problem.
Thank you for the apology.
Yeah, apology accepted.
I was just saying earlier that it would be funny, since you said that every task was appointed by God. Like if I went to the toilet, was I appointed to go?
But yes, actually, it's true what you say. It's also appointed. Yes, according to our nature of this body, it's also need to go to the toilet.
Yeah, it is actually. I mean, it's not foreign to us to include even that, because Krishna also says one place in the Bhagavad-gītā that a transcendentalist he looks when he opening and closing his organs. Yeah, he actually mentioned that.
Yeah.
You need to include everything.
Also,
yeah.
In the Chaitanya also, even Chaitanya was instructed on this. You can even chant when you're relieving yourself.
Yeah. So Krishna is now saying, Ishvara sarvabhutanam riddesh arjuna tishtati brahmayan sarvabhutani yantra rudani maya. The Supreme Lord is situated in everyone's heart, O Arjuna, and is directing the wanderers of all living entities who are seated as on a machine made of the material energy. So, all the wanderings, that means everything that's going on is actually directed by God in our heart. So that way, all these functions, they are just going on. The moment he leaves our body, then all this stuff is just stopping to work, and the body just becomes cold. immediately, because the soul has left the body. First the super soul is leaving, and then the soul is following suit, because he follows the light of the super soul to another body. Yeah. So yeah.
But there's many words I don't always understand, like kirtan and Vaishnava and.
Vaishnava. Yeah. Sorry. Vaishnava. It means Hare Krishna devotee.
I think he meant the Vaishya, as in the.
Also, the police people or military people.
Yeah. Don't say police. The leaders. Yeah.
Yeah, it means like a king. King.
Kings, actually. That's actually the real term. The kings.
No, that's the Raj. The Raj is king. But
No, but you can call Kshatriya also king, actually. You can call the Kshatriya king, actually. Many times you can just use that word for king.
That would be.
It's a royal order, okay? They're royal people. They're born with royal blood in their veins. That's actually a Kshatriya. Anyway, let's just read on. 62. Tam eva sharanam gacha sarva bhavana bharata tat prasadat param shantim stanam prapsyasi shashvatam. O sign of Bharata, surrender unto him utterly. By his grace you will attain transcendental peace and the supreme and eternal abode. So Krishna doesn't stop there. He's going to expound on this. Itite gyanam akyatam guyataram maya vimrishyaytad asheshena yatichasi tatakuru. Now comes a great verse. And one time one person it's like a historical thing. He was asking, what is your favorite verse of the Bhagavad-gītā? And he said, this one is my favorite verse. Krishna is saying, thus I have explained to you knowledge still more confidential. Deliberate on this fully and then do what you wish to do. So that man, he thought this was his favorite verse, because Krishna says, do what you wish to do. But I think, it's also actually showing Krishna's greatness. He's not threatening or forcing you to do something. Huh?
I think it's so amazing.
It is amazing. I agree.
Yeah.
And Krishna, other places says, this is my opinion. Just like, okay, so is it just your opinion? I can do something else.
Yeah.
I think I'll take a break now. So
I think we'll also take a break, because I found my battery is going out, and I'm sitting in this room which doesn't have the power outlet is not working in my room.
okay.
Or maybe I can drag it. I'll see if it works. Okay. Would you like to read in the meantime, Christopher Prabhu, the verse?
Yeah, of course.
The next verse?
Yep.
64.
Sarva guhyamatam bhuya shrinu me paramam vacha ishto stim me dridham iti tadu vakshyami te hitam. Because you are my very dear friend, I am speaking to you my supreme instruction, the most confidential knowledge of all. Hear this from me, for it is for your benefit. The Lord has given Arjuna knowledge that isn't confidential, knowledge of Brahma. Still more confidential, knowledge of the super soul within everyone's heart. And now he's giving the most confidential part of knowledge. Just surrender unto the Supreme Personality of Godhead. At the end of the 9th chapter, he has said, Manmana, just think always of me. The same instruction is repeated here to stress the essence of the teachings of Bhagavad-gītā. This essence is not understood by a common man, but by one who is actually very dear to Krishna, a pure devotee of Krishna. This is the most important instruction in all Vedic literature. What Krishna is saying in this connection is the most essential part of knowledge, and it should be carried out not only by Arjuna, but by all living entities.
Super. I was able to cable up the computer, so now we can still go on. Yeah, so let's see. You have any comment to this?
Yeah, instruction.
Yeah.
Because he's given, like exactly like Prabhupada said, first gave Brahman knowledge, then he get, I guess, super soul knowledge, and now he's coming with the Supreme.
Exactly. Very good. So now the next verse is Manmana bhava mad bhakto mam yaji mam namaskuru mamevaishyasi satyam te pratigyane priyosime. Always think of me, become my devotee, worship me and offer your homage unto me. Thus you will come to me without fail. I promise you this because you are my very dear friend. Yeah. So Prabhupada says in the purport, the most confidential part of knowledge is that one should become a pure devotee of Krishna and always think of him and act for him. One should not become an official meditator. Yeah, so this is a, I don't know, to be officially meditating, it seems like it would not be so much bhakti then, because it will be that, it's said sometimes that one should not even try and show that one is a devotee for others. It's like a personal thing, isn't it?
It seems to me what Krishna is trying to convey is that like you're simply just wait for me. I will personally come and pick you up because you are so dear a friend to me. It's like that we are not supposed to be so busy with whatever activity we are in the material world that we will say we will not take the pickup when it's coming together.
We will not take what?
I guess it's looking like say in the kindergarten, right? But you're enjoying so much, and your parent is there to get here. Like, okay, time to go home. But it's like, no, I will stay here, overnight and until next week because I'm having so much fun, playing in the sandbox.
Yeah. I didn't really get what you were saying, but anyway.
I was just like, what actually the Krishna is saying, because he's such a dear friend. He's actually waiting for for the opportunity to come and pick you up.
Yeah, now I get it. Yes. He really is. He's what you call Surit. He's a close friend. Yeah. But then again, it's like it's going two ways, because so say for example somebody wants to be your friend, but you can choose to kind of reciprocate that, or we can choose not to also. So you can say Krishna is giving us kind of a lot of chances to do bhakti and like that, but he's doing that through other people.
I guess we can also analyze it in the heart, because what is the heart actually saying?
Yeah. I mean, the more you think about it, the more abstract it becomes sometimes. Also,
yes, because we can have like Krishna coming here and pick us up personally, the Vaikuntha airplanes and all the Vishnu people. But it's like if the heart is like, what, I really want paneer or something like that. It's like, I don't know. It's like I cannot really understand the situation, because you can also have the paneer in the spiritual world, right?
Yeah, the situation is that as long as we are not very close to God in our life, then it all becomes kind of difficult and technical. But I like, when it's revealed that Krishna just wants to be your friend. Yeah. So in that way, that makes everything so much easier. Just imagine if you have a friend and you want to make some arrangement, you want to have this or that kind of pizza, but then it doesn't need to be so complicated because you're friends. So even if it doesn't work out exactly according to the plan, or it's okay, right? Because the friendship is the most important. So in the same way, maybe Krishna consciousness.
Knowing what the other person likes.
Yeah. So if you know that, then you will please the other person more. In that way, so all the formalities and protocols, they're all there. But the most important thing is to maintain and develop the friendship, I guess.
I think so. Also, we have the past, eternal past, which we have cultivated friendship with him. So it's like.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes we hear that maybe we didn't do nothing in the past. This is the first time.
No, that's actually not according to what Krishna is saying.
Well, he says you're continuing from.
Never was into existence. It was always existing. The soul.
Yeah, that's okay. But I mean, yeah.
It's always doing it, and it's also saying they're always engaged in His service. So how can there be anything else?
Yeah. I mean, you can say a person may.
The body of a cat and dog. There's many lifetimes in the animal kingdom, but still, this truth he's speaking, they must hold true still, right? The eternal past is a very long time. It's very, very long.
It's eternal. It doesn't have any start.
So it's just like even a million lifetimes. It's just a little speck in eternity. It's not a fragment,
Yeah, it's true. And anyway, in one sense, you can say it's no need to matter too much about that because now we're here, and
Yeah, I guess that's okay. But what I'm saying is, that how good a friend he really is.
Yeah, that's true. Yeah, I mean, somebody may also take it the other way and say, they think he may not be so good friend since he kept us here forever.
Yeah, but that's actually an illusion because they're thinking something is worse than it actually is.
Yeah, I also think so. Okay, so let's take the king verse of the whole Bhagavad-gītā, shall we? Sarva dharman parityajya mamekam sharanam vraja aham tvam sarva papebhyo muksha yishyami ma shuchaha. Abandon all varieties of religion and just surrender unto me. I shall deliver you from all sinful reactions. Do not fear. So now Prabhupada is saying in the purport here, so it will be crystal clear to us all what is the situation. The Lord has described various kinds of knowledge and processes of religion. Knowledge of the Supreme Brahman, knowledge of the Supersoul, knowledge of the different types of orders and status of social life, knowledge of the renounced order of life, knowledge of non-attachment, sense and mind control, meditation, etc. He has described in so many ways different types of religion. Now, in summarizing Bhagavad-gītā, the Lord says that Arjuna should give up all the processes that have been explained to him. He should simply surrender to Krishna. Did you hear that?
Yeah.
Give up all these processes that have been explained. So,
But it's exactly like that, the symbol that someone is trying to pick us up and we're busy playing in the sandbox, That we just abandon all this religion thing we're doing in the sandbox and just turn to Krishna,
But then of course somebody will ask, then what's the use of the whole book? What's the use of Krishna explaining all this? Well, guess what? It creates, a great contrast, a great backdrop to Krishna, and the relationship of the soul and Krishna.
No, because when you're listening to the Gita, you're actually turning towards Krishna, right?
Yeah, he gradually brings you there, because first of all we need to be out of the illusion of gross material identification. Otherwise we cannot even have a talk, right? Because Krishna is the transcendental, entity. He cannot be seen with your gross eyes, right?
Yeah, he can. He is there on the cover of the book. I see.
Yeah, but you have to see him with the love in your heart. State that you cannot actually see him with your eyes. Huh?
Different constituents of action. The knower and the doer. It's like the doer is just emanating in the heart the affection for him.
Yeah, the point is that you have to see Krishna with love in the heart. Then you can actually see him. Unless one has developed love for Krishna, one can't actually see him. Because he's ever present. Then the conclusion is that one who is actually developed Krishna prema or sneha or rati, different words for the same thing, that one has affection and love for God, for Krishna, then one will always see him. Otherwise he is invisible, and life in the world seems like a bad place, basically. Yeah.
But I don't. The spiritual vision, there's transcendental senses that Krishna is talking about. These kind of senses sense the spiritual things.
Yeah.
But I guess the mind is also able to do a lot of things. So if you're constantly thinking about Krishna for a very long time, the mind will also be able to just see him.
Yeah, that's the point. You see him in the.
Krishna is not different than you're eating, literally Krishna.
Yeah, you see him through hearing about him. That's called Shastra Chakshu. You know.
Yeah, that's like the first step of cultivating this.
Yeah, so Narada Muni is saying that in the Bhagavatam also. He says Nabulingam. He says your form are made of the Naba. It's an etherical form.
Is that the super soul?
It's not only super soul. It's also Krishna himself. By the name of Krishna, and gradually the whole Krishna is revealed. Personality of Krishna. Starting with the name.
Asura, everyone could see him when he was present here, right? Just that it was as if he had a material body, right?
Yeah, that's true.
But I can imagine like if he's actually incarnating, you can see him right there. Right? It's not ephemeral.
Yeah, but it was said, that the gopis, they could see Krishna all the time.
Yes, in the
fire.
Hallucination of ecstasy.
Yeah, exactly. In the fire of separation, of love. Yeah. So it's a higher way of seeing then, through love. Because many people could see him, you can say, in the flesh, but they couldn't recognize who he was. And like that, they were not as advanced as the gopis who were separated from him.
I think we need to find the examples of this, because this is like the demons. Even the demons who are trying to insult Krishna, like Shishupal, they are actually becoming delusioned by his beauty to give him compliments.
Yeah, that's true also.
Yeah. So I think we're not giving Krishna enough credit to how transcendental his form is, just by seeing him.
Yeah, of course, that is there, but still they're attacking him, so it's not really that high level of consciousness.
But it's like they're like seated on a plate, on a machine. Otherwise, how can you attack, the most dear person of your eternal, relationship? It must be some serious machine that is carrying you like that, right?
Well, the explanation is that it's because of the Maya of Krishna, the Yoga Maya, that they couldn't actually understand that Krishna is who he is. So they were, by Yoga Maya, they were inspired to fight him.
It's not external.
They were inspired to fight him because of Yoga Maya. It's explained like that. Because, you have Jaya and Vijaya. These are...
Not very intricately described, like how the details is about the soul, how the soul is, receives a false ego to act, in the plane in such a way.
Well, the soul is covered by Krishna's mystic potency, and in that way he's believing, it to be true that Krishna is just a normal person, and he can attack him. Yeah, they're not experiencing that Krishna is the supreme lord of everything. That's why they think they can attack him, criticize him, and so on.
I think there have to be examples of people who know he's the supreme lord who still are criticizing him. Like I think Narada maybe has been.
I'm not so sure about that. I mean,
it's like because they're so their friend, Narada and Krishna.
Yeah, but you see, whenever you have these rasas.
Giving little criticism that why is it your devotees Pandavas are robbed of their kingdom, but still they become more affectionate to him.
Yeah, he's just asking, but that's asking respectfully. It's not criticizing.
Okay, but it's also a little, I guess, I heard Prabhupada actually quote to be criticizing a little bit Krishna, but it was funny.
Well, you have to look at each case, but in any case, it's all arranged by Yoga Maya, because the whole scenery, that this is happening, that is happening, it's all arranged by Yoga Maya. That's the explanation. Yeah.
That's like the more faint or external pastimes that are, seemingly non-Krishna. Krishna is not there, it seems. That would be like, I would say Yoga Maya just acting,
Yeah, actually, he's always in the eternal, unmanifested Gokul. Yeah, but then still he has his pastimes, here. So in that way, it's inconceivable. It's inconceivable, and it wouldn't take place without the Maya Shakti. in both ways, both the material Maya Shakti and the spiritual Maya Shakti are both working.
It's really wonderful.
Yeah, it is really. So, okay, so if you go down then to text 67. Idam te na tapaskaya na bhaktaya kadachana na cha shushrushave na cha mam yobhyasuyati. This confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere or devoted or engaged in devotional service, nor to one who is envious of me. Yeah, so Prabhupada says that persons who have not undergone the austerities of the religious process, who have never attempted devotional service in Krishna consciousness, who have not tended the pure devotee, and especially those who are conscious of Krishna only as a historical personality or are envious of the greatness of Krishna, should not be told this most confidential part of knowledge.
It says it may never be.
May? No, here it said should.
Oh.
Should not be told this most confidential part of knowledge. Yeah.
I mean, the translation is this confidential knowledge may never be explained to those who are not austere, devoted, or engaged in devotional service.
Yeah, but may also be like, it's just a way of speaking,
I guess, but I also want to analyze the Sanskrit a little bit.
No, but in the Sanskrit it doesn't say may. It just say
exactly.
na. Just na. It's not qualified by anything else. It says na and na.
Never.
Na. It says na 4 times. So it's pretty clear that it's a no. It's not may.
Actually, this may is sometimes also completely ignored, even though that you use it.
That's the point, because it's English. It's in English language. You can speak like that. Yeah. So it's not like from our Norwegian understanding. If you take may to be maybe, then it's wrong. It's not the way it should be interpreted here.
Would it be the Sanskrit is actually conveying this confidential knowledge will never be explained, right? Is it will?
No, it should.
Oh, should never.
Yeah.
Then that's more like an instruction, right?
Yeah.
It's like as an Arjuna, when you're teaching people devotional service, this confidential knowledge should not be explained.
Yeah, it's called imperative in grammar. Imperative.
Yeah.
Yeah. So that's so that's the mood of this. It's called injunctions,
But that's the Prabhupada's purport is should.
Yeah. So we're just talking about it's just in English. It's just English usage, But if you're in doubt about, then you can look in other books, like you have the other Upanishads, and you can reconcile in all the statements.
I really just need to translate the verse, I think.
Yeah, I mean, sometimes, the Sanskrit need to be explained by the Acharyas, because it has been explained, how we should interpret this Sanskrit by the Acharyas.
Yes, it's very complicated.
Sometimes, the Sanskrit is used in a different way than usually it's used. And that will be given by the verdict of the Acharyas, what is the actual proper interpretation. And they will try also to back that up with logic.
But it's like, I don't know, because we're trying to say that also, a few things that, this and that. So I don't think there was any imperative by Krishna about should or should not.
It's simply not there. It's just saying no, 4 times.
Explaining the situation of those who are not severe, those who are not austere or devoted or anything. They would not receive this knowledge.
It's just
so
plain. It's very plain. Yeah, it's very plain. It's just telling, don't tell this to anybody who is not devoted.
No, he's not saying that. He's not saying that. He's actually saying those who are not austere and devoted, they would never come in contact. So it's not a question of being able to tell them.
It says varcham, okay? That means to be spoken. Okay?
Yeah. So,
He says you shouldn't speak this to these people. What's the difficult in understanding this? It's very clear. Varcham. Don't speak this. Don't speak this is 4 times no. Yeah. So don't speak this, don't speak this, don't speak this, don't speak this. 4 times. You should not speak this to the person who is not austere, not to the one who is not a devotee, not to one who is not engaged in devotional service, and not to one who is envious. Kadachana, it means not at any time. So it's very, very clear that this is a complete prohibition. And then he says, in the next verse, Yaidam paramam guyam mad bhaktesha vidasyati bhakti maya param kritva mame vaishyatya samshayaha. For one who explains this supreme secret to the devotees, pure devotional service is guaranteed, and at the end he will come back to me. So then he's doubling down on this, what he previously said, that it can only be explained to the devotees. Then you will actually, get pure devotional service. Yeah. So, of course, then Prabhupada says in the comment, generally it is advised that Bhagavad-gītā be discussed among the devotees only, for those who are not devotees will understand neither Krishna nor Bhagavad-gītā. Those who do not accept Krishna as he is, and Bhagavad-gītā as it is, should not try to explain Bhagavad-gītā whimsically and become offenders. Bhagavad-gītā should be explained to persons who are ready to accept Krishna as the Supreme Personality of Godhead. It is a subject matter for the devotees only and not for philosophical speculators. Anyone, however, who tries sincerely to present Bhagavad-gītā as it is will advance in devotional activities and reach the pure devotional state of life. As a result of such pure devotion, he is sure to go back home, back to Godhead. Okay, we just have 4 verses left. Nacha tasman manushesu kashtin me priya krittamaha bhavita nacha me tasma anya priyataro bhuvi. There is no servant in this world more dear to me than he, nor will there ever be one more dear. Adyashyate chaya imam dharmyam samvadamavayo jnana yagyena tenaham ishtasyam iti me matihi. And I declare that he who studies this sacred conversation of ours worships me by his intelligence. Shadavan annasuyascha shrinu yadapiyo naraha sopi mukta shubhalokan prapnu yad punya karmanam. And one who listens with faith and without envy becomes free from sinful reactions and attains to the auspicious planets where the pious dwell. Okay, so, still we're not finished. Okay. Kvachit etat shrutam partha. Huh?
It's 78 verses.
Oh, okay. Kvachit etat shrutam partha tvayaika grena chetasa kachit agyana sammoha pranas taste dananjaya. O son of Pritha, O conqueror of wealth, have you heard this with an attentive mind? And are your ignorance and illusions now dispelled? Okay, Arjuna is going to speak. Arjuna vacha nashto moha smritir labdha tvat prasadam mayachita stito smigata sandeha karishe vachanam tava. You want to read, Prabhu?
I thought it was so sweet asking this to Arjuna, are you using this spell? Are you free from that?
Yeah.
I can read. Arjuna said, My dear Krishna, O infallible one, my illusion is now gone. I've regained my memory by your mercy. I am now firm and free from doubt. I'm prepared to act according to your instructions.
Very good.
There's a few also.
Huh?
Sanjaya uvacha iti aham vasudevasya artasya cha mahatmana sambadam imam ashrostam abhut tam ramaharshama. Sanjaya said, Thus I have heard the conversation of 2 great souls, Krishna and Arjuna, and so wonderful is that message that my hair is standing on end. Vyasa prashadachurtavan itaguhyam aham param yogam yogeshvarat krishnat shakshat kathayata svayam. By the mercy of Vyasa, I have heard these most confidential talks directly from the master of all mysticism, Krishna, who was speaking personally to Arjuna.
Great. Next one.
Rajan samsmrtya samvadam imam abhutam keshavarjunayo punyam rishyami cha muhur. O king, as I repeatedly recall this wondrous and holy dialogue between Krishna and Arjuna, I take pleasure, being thrilled at every moment.
Yeah, you can read the purport if you like.
Oh, you wanna?
It's very nice. This.
The understanding of Bhagavad-gītā is so transcendental that anyone who becomes conversant with these topics of Arjuna and Krishna becomes righteous, and he cannot forget such talks. This is the transcendental position of spiritual life. In other words, one who hears the Gita from the right source, directly from Krishna, attains full Krishna consciousness. The result of Krishna consciousness is that one becomes increasingly enlightened, and he enjoys life with a thrill, not only for some time, but at every moment.
Okay, one verse left, or is it two more?
It's two more.
You would like to read?
Yeah, yes, please. Tascha samsmrtya rupam ati abhutam hare vishmayo me maham rajam rishyami cha puna. O King, as I remember the wonderful form of Lord Krishna, I'm struck with wonder more and more, and I rejoice again and again.
Right.
I want to read the purport also.
Yeah, please.
It appears that Sanjaya also, by the grace of Vyasa, could see the universal form Krishna exhibited to Arjuna. It is, of course, said that Lord Krishna had never exhibited such a form before. It was exhibited to Arjuna only, yet some great devotees could also see the universal form of Krishna when it was shown to Arjuna, and Vyasa was one of them. He is one of the greatest devotees of the Lord, and he is considered to be a powerful incarnation of Krishna. Vyasa disclosed to his disciple Sanjaya, who remembered that wonderful form of Krishna exhibited to Arjuna and enjoyed it repeatedly. Is it actually the universal form, or I thought it was just the wonderful form of Krishna, like Krishna's form?
I also thought so, yeah. Anyway.
I'll go on the last verse.
Yeah.
Yatra Yogeshvara Krishna, Yatra Parto Dhandurtara, Tatra Shri Vijayo Bhutir Durva Mitar Matir Mama. Whenever there is Krishna, and wherever there is Krishna, the master of all mystics, and wherever there is Arjuna, the supreme archer, there will also certainly be opulence, victory, extraordinary power, and morality. That is my opinion.
Yeah. Okay, so I'll read a little bit of the commentary also.
Yeah.
So I'll just go down, to a little bit down. I scroll down. Huh?
It's not that. Oh, it's quite long.
Yeah, so I go to the last paragraph. In Bhagavad-gītā, 5 principal subject matters have been discussed. The Supreme Personality of Godhead, that's 1. The living entities, 2. Eternal time, 3. And all kinds of activities. Well, wait a minute.
Yeah,
Okay.
that's
Supreme Personality of Godhead, material nature, living entities, eternal time, and all kinds of activities. Yeah. So the Supreme Personality of Godhead is called Ishvara, material nature. Is Prakriti, living entities, Jiva. Eternal time is Kala, and all kinds of activities is Karma. Yep. So Ishvara, Prakriti, Jiva, Kala, and Karma. These are the 5 subject matters of Bhagavad-gītā. All is dependent on the Supreme Personality of Godhead, Krishna. All conceptions of the Absolute Truth, impersonal Brahman, localized Paramatma, and any other transcendental conception exists within the category of understanding the Supreme Personality of Godhead. Although superficially the Supreme Personality of Godhead, the living entity, the material nature, and time appear to be different, nothing is different from the Supreme. But the Supreme is always different from everything. So you only have it one way, but not the other way. Yeah, because all of us are baked into the Lord, but He's still different from us. But we are, you can say, in Him. He's not in us. Okay, so Lord Chaitanya's philosophy is that of inconceivable oneness and difference. This system of philosophy constitutes perfect knowledge of the absolute truth. Living entity in his original position is pure spirit. He is just like an atomic particle of supreme spirit. Thus Lord Krishna may be compared to the sun, and the living entities to sunshine. Good morning, sunshine. Isn't that an expression?
Yeah.
Because the living entities are the marginal energy of Krishna, they have a tendency to be in contact either with the material energy or with the spiritual energy. Can you be in contact with both of them at the same time?
Yeah.
Looks like that, yeah. That's why we're called marginal energy.
Different from the material energy.
It's like we have one foot in the boat and one foot on land.
No, you can just have one foot anywhere, and you will see that since Krishna is the material energy, it's not different.
Well, that's when you realized yourself, yeah. But before that, one is really, kind of in dire position.
Yeah, but this transcendental view is impetuous, so it completely clears the materialistic view. So you cannot have both at the same time.
Well, it's true, yeah. Once you get it, then it spiritualizes your complete existence. Yeah.
Yeah.
Very
but
good.
You can, I guess, understand the material situation and say that yes, as according to the materialist, I am exactly situated, in the material boat. But I see Krishna, so it's both.
Exactly. Yeah. So So in other words, the living entity is situated between the two energies of the Lord, and because it belongs to the superior energy of the Lord, he has a particle of independence. By proper use of that independence, he comes under the direct order of Krishna, thus attains his normal condition in the pleasure-giving potency. So what is that pleasure-giving potency called? It's called Chit Shakti. Yeah.
Oh,
Well, you see, sometimes it's just called Chit because it's like the spiritual potency. Ananda is part of that. You have Ladini Shakti, Sandhini Shakti, and Samvit. They're all Chit Shakti or the spiritual Shakti. Yeah, that's a pleasure Shakti. You can give it different names. Yeah, but pleasure is of course included. But it's eternal also. Sat, Chit, and Ananda. So it's like when it's have full knowledge and eternality in bliss. Yeah, so thus end the Bhaktivedanta purports to the 18th chapter of Srimad Bhagavad-gītā, in the matter of its conclusion, the perfection of renunciation. Yeah, so those of you who are ready for the exam, we can arrange that, so you can have an exam now on the Bhagavad-gītā. And then you can get Bhakti Shastri degree if you pass the exam.
Do I have to have that exam in order to, have any authority speaking with, these devotees?
Which devotees?
Any of the devotees, because would they just ignore me if I don't have the exam, or is it something else?
No, devotees, they will only be interested in the devotion. These are all externals.
Okay, sounds good.
It's not like they ask you, hey, where is your Bhakti Shastri degree? You see, it's like that in academic circles. If you're going to hang out with academics, they will ask, okay, what's your degree? What are your field of research?
Yeah, they have an automated system in the school, so you don't get in unless you have a certain standard grade.
Yeah, so it's kind of, but it's not like that in Bhakti. In Bhakti, the only thing that matters is one's bhav, one's mood. Yeah.
I guess. But specifically this degree is to show that we have practiced some intelligent Bhakti, right? Like some study.
Yeah, so you can say, you have joined, the online study at least. In case you don't take exam, at least you have, gone through the Bhagavad-gītā in these classes. So that's good.
Right.
Yeah. So nobody can say that you didn't study the Bhagavad-gītā, right?
Oh, but a person, I don't know, because this exam is supposed to give some kind of sample,
Yeah, but it's for the people who like to have that. It's not necessary for Bhakti anyway.
That's okay, I guess.
If it makes you happy, then, go for it. Get, your degree. Krishna is arranging.
I'm not able to, keep the documentation or anything like that. I'll just throw it out.
Yeah, but that's also with me. I didn't keep my diploma. I couldn't find it actually.
Is it online or is it saved in a?
Well, of course, nowadays it will be saved, in the like in Iskcon now they have a nice system that they're saving all the diplomas. But you see, I took my diploma before that was in gear. I took it like.
I guess they have all the classes recorded right on YouTube, and when it's first there, it's the archive very.
Yeah. So it's all the diplomas which you take now, are completely archived. You don't need to have a copy yourself, a soft copy of your diploma.
I mean, specifically, even the classes, all the what I have been saying, what I've been trying to convey, according to my understanding. So exactly, it's all available, to the algorithm or whoever is reading.
Well, yeah, it is. Yeah, we have recorded everything. Yeah.
Yeah.
And we can delete it also just as easily.
Yeah, but actually, it's not always that easy. But because it's always stored in some.
No, but really, no. I had before, a long time. I had some video, and I tried to find it back with the Wayback Machine. It couldn't find it because it was too less views.
It's a bit limited. It's not always. It's not always like that.
So stuff is actually getting lost also on the internet. It's possible.
Oh yeah. You cannot find the different things. You cannot find anymore.
Yeah, even if they start deleting old stuff, it's just lying and taking up space.
It's like trying to find, a pen in a needle in a haystack. It's like that, right?
Well, maybe.
Because the haystack is so enormously big, like how much the internet is being flooded with content,
Yeah. And